Here is a short video from the ONS covering the impact of the recession on household income. This is an update of a video published in June 2011 as more information on the economy has become available. For a transcript, email info@ons.gov.uk. Firstly, we will look at the annual percentage change in household income from 2006 up to 2010, with the recent recession occurring between this period in 2008 and 2009. We can see that throughout the period, the annual change in household income was positive, meaning that the income of households increased each year. However, the size of the increase fell from 2006 to 2009, meaning that income was not increasing by as much as in previous years. And in 2010, the percentage increase in income was higher than in 2009. One thing to consider when looking at household income is the impact of inflation. This is important because if price growth is greater than the growth in household income, then in real terms, household income is falling. In other words, the same amount of income will not be able to purchase as much. Here is inflation, and if we take the difference between the increase in household income and the impact of inflation, we get the change in real household income. We can see that in 2008, with a higher level of inflation than in previous years, the growth in real household income was low, standing at 0.3%. In 2009, even though the growth of household income was less than in 2008, with a lower level of inflation, real household income actually increased by more in 2009 than in the previous year. Looking at 2010, the growth of household income was larger than in 2009. However, with a higher level of inflation in 2010, real household income growth was just 0.1%. We will now look at how each of the main components of household income contributes to the annual change in each of the last 5 years. First, here is the growth rate in 2006, and we can see that household income increased by 4.2%. Now let's look at the first component of household income, which is compensation of employees, which is largely wages and salaries from employment, but also includes other forms of remuneration, such as employers' pension contributions and national insurance contributions. Of the total increase in household income, this component contributed 4.4% to the growth. The next component is net property income, which in simple terms is the income from interest or dividends from assets. For example, savings in a bank account, less any interest paid out, for example on mortgages or loans. Note that if mortgage interest payments fall and nothing else changes, this would lead to an increase in net property income. In 2006, of the increase in household income, 0.4% came from net property income. Another main component of household income is the difference between taxes paid, where we look at direct taxes such as income tax and national insurance, and benefits received. In 2006, this difference actually contributed to pulling household income down, shown here by the bar being below 0%, and means that in the UK in 2006, growth in taxes paid by households outstripped growth in benefits received. There are also other contributors to household income, which we will group here as other. So, adding each of these components gives the growth rate of 4.2%, and we can see that in 2006, it was income received from the compensation of employees, mainly through wages and salaries, that meant household income increased. If we fade out the bars for 2006 and now look at each year in turn, in 2007 household income grew by 3.8%, less than in 2006. Here are the components, and we can see, similar to 2006, that compensation of employees was the main contributor to the growth, with taxes and benefits and net property income pulling the growth down. In 2008, which includes the first 9 months of the recent recession, household income increased by less than in 2007. However, unlike the previous 2 years, the increase in household income was not driven by as large an increase in compensation of employees, shown here with a much smaller bar. Taxes and benefits and net property income, both negative in 2007, were positive contributors to the growth in household disposable income in 2008. The main reason net property income contributed positively was because of historically low interest rates set by the Bank of England, resulting in lower mortgage interest payments, and as we explained earlier, since interest payments are a deduction from household income, this served to support household income in 2008 and 2009. Because of rising unemployment in 2008, the amount of tax the household sector as a whole paid was reduced, and the benefits paid out to households increased. The result is the positive contribution from taxes and benefits that we see for 2008. In 2009, which includes the last 6 months of the recent recession, again household income grew but not as much as in previous years, by 3.1%. The main driver of growth was taxes and benefits, as unemployment increased further. Also included within the other component is income from self-employment, which contributed negatively as self-employment fell. In 2010, after the end of the recession, household income grew by 3.8%, higher than the growth in 2009. As the labour market started to recover, the contribution from compensation of employees increased, although it remained below pre-recession levels. The contribution from taxes and benefits was marginally negative in 2010.